extent, I feel personally in the previous game when there's dangerous grass between Kingdom Esports and Ignite Gaming, the Cho is struggling to open the map. And remember, that was also one of the things I was talking about. So now we have to see how Absolute Zero and Flash plays around Broken Walls. Broken Walls, in my opinion, really favors the Joy, and which is something that Hades play as well.
Now, so far, we have the first 3 bans coming out all the way. So it is going to be Angela, Baxia, Chip, Alice, Yesushin, and Jusin. Well, AZ snap-picked on over to the CC, allowing them to have a very strong XP lane right off the bat.
Yeah, Vendetta opening up with the CC pick is absolutely wonderful. It eliminates everything, like no more tanky EXP laners. We've seen what Gear could do on the CC against the likes of your high losses, against the likes of your, even to a certain extent, Kalia is also not really safe. Speaking of Kalia, Flash will pick that up for themselves, could also go into the hands of Jay, and the Lunox really becoming one of our top favorites mage in MPL Singapore.
Yep. With the second pick coming in from AZ, they have decided to take that Lancelot for Fate QD himself. So no potential for Hades to snap pick that.
Yep.
However, there is still the Joy that is currently available for the picking. Let's not forget about what else. Okay, so Yusushin has been taken out, so that is all fine. Baxia is also taken out, so now we are kind of left with those assassin junglers plus Fredrin. Although I don't really think that that's something that we might see.
Yep, seems like we're going to be Absolute Zero picking the far side for Bougie, denying that away from Curtizi. Well, technically Curtizi has already selected a Lunox. Lunox is really strong in this particular patch because you may potentially face up against like the likes of the Fredrin, to a certain extent, the tanky frontliners. Now, because of the Lunox immediately, that's already gone. The Brilliance definitely work wonders against the Farsa, but Farsa definitely has better mobility with the wing by wings going around the map.
Now, of course, with the presence of CC, I definitely do not expect to want to see Fredrin, which is the reason why I didn't want to see it at all. But ultimately, Ling and Joy might actually be the case for Team Flash unless AZ have decided to take both of them out, as both the jungler as well as the possibly XP laner is missing from the side of Team Flash. Well, for AZ, they still need a gold laner, and they also do need a mid lane. No, not mid laner. Gold laner and a roamer.
This is interesting, right? 1-1 being selected by Team Flash this time around. This is the second time that 1-1 has been selected by the side of Vanix. Previously, he actually lost on this 1-1. In fact, if you want to take a look at Vanix's hero pool in this particular patch, he's shown that he's played 2 rounds of Moskov, two games of Lapu Lapu, Bane, Ruby, and these are like your like your non-marksman gold laners right now. But that's also because they don't have access to the Yushin. They're keeping Hades' hero super mysterious right now.
Yeah, Guinevere is a good ban. Of course, he has been playing quite a bit of Guinevere nowadays. It's always going to be a very good combination together with Kalia, with these two being picked up quite often. But inevitably, there is still a very good combo mechanic between the Kalia with the Lunox and perhaps even Kalia plus the 1-1 to really enable all those weakness procs.
Yep. Seems like it is also very interesting for the side of Flash SG is, if I remember correctly, they perform better, in my opinion. They perform better on the blue side, in fact. They've only won 2 times on the red side. And yeah, so this could be an uncomfortable position for Team Flash, especially when they can only snap pick to one hero after they've seen all of the hero roster coming off from Absolute Zero. So this particular pick definitely going to be very pivotal for Team Flash.
Very interesting. They've decided to ban out that Fredrin. So in the end of the day, still the 2 assassins that... Oh wait, Hayabusa as well. So Hayabusa, Ling is both available, and if they even want to go for the Joy, that is totally possible as well. That's as much as they can thin out that jungle role.
Oh, the Guinevere also to get taken away by the side of Absolute Zero, right? And that's something that Hades will play. And I feel right now they will play, definitely they will keep Hades' hero super mysterious right now. Hades has a hero pool that is literally as deep as the Olympic swimming pool.
What else is here? We're lacking our gold lanes. At this point, AZ does not have a very clear direction as to what they're going to go for. Their roamer is, of course, a mystery at this point. They don't have any much of a reason to really dive over the back lines. As such, a lead is not quite needed. It's more of a frontline kind of, frontline kind of thing. If they want to go for pick off, that's totally fine as well. They don't have anyone tanky, so as much as I want a pick off Kaja, is gonna leave the team very vulnerable. So Franco might actually still be a pretty good pick for them.
Yep. Okay, Arlott and also Cho being selected by the side of Absolute Zero.
Pick off.
Quite squishy composition coming out from the side of Absolute Zero. You do have... Wait, the gold laner is Arlott?
You're right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Arlott gold lane.
Arlott gold lane.
Or CC gold lane.
I highly doubt so.
You're definitely going to be... Okay, that's definitely going to be a CC
Damage Arlott. Yeah, damage Arlott. Damage Arlott in the gold.
Huh.
Damage Arlott in the gold.
Interesting though.
We don't have a lot of crowd control that can actually refresh. Oh, we don't have a lot of crowd control that can actually help to refresh the marks for the Arlott. Oh, huh. Hey, never mind. CC gold. Huh.
Yeah. Because you would have thought that, you know, the CC will be sent all the way to deal with the Uranus down at the bottom lane. But this is pretty interesting, right? You don't expect a CC gold lane. You expect an Arlott to go perhaps down at the bottom. You try to neutralize it. But why would you go for an Arlott? This is a little bit confusing for me, Abstract.
It is actually kind of confusing for me as well. So what exactly are they looking out for here? They have crowd control. Okay, I think they just want to dip their toes in every way possible. They want to make full use of Farsa. They want to make full use of Farsa, right? So Farsa's Feathered Airstrike does give pretty good zoning, allows for siege. While in the meantime, it also does do very good buzz. So if you do have someone that can, you know, pick off coming into the Cho, that's great. That's why I was looking out for a Franco, so that you can have a tough body in the front. But for them to pick up an Arlott just means that they want to have a wider AoE to really just deal with the main front lines, having Kalia, Lunox, Uranus.
Yeah, so it's a little bit confusing, right? I think right now, if you take a look at the whole roster on a bigger picture right now, it's just that you're sending you're sending CC to a technically losing lane. Yes, there's a little bit of a range incorporated into CC. Maybe they're also afraid of the fact that your 1-1 crossbow, a tank, could literally just melt through every person from the side of Absolute Zero. But at the same time, rather than going for an Arlott, you can also or a CC, you could go for even a Harif, right? Because they've already went for a Lancelot in the jungle, so they do have decent amount of physical damage. And yeah, I think Harif fits a bill right here. Zaman falls laying down to slow down everybody, whereas the Feather Airstrike goes in and bursts everybody down. And all of a sudden, you have a bursty composition to be able to burst down the Lunox, burst down the 1-1 to zone deny. Zaman Force is actually a very good counter. Harif is a very good counter against the 1-1, and even to a certain extent, deal with the Uranus.
I can see that they are trying to play more of a divey kind of composition for their team, right? And if they were to play the Harif for themselves, that would mean that they lack a crowd control in a macro point of view. Perhaps they want to find more ways to disrupt the Uranus, but I don't see a reason why they would throw their late game insurance right over to an Arlott just so that they have a AoE crowd control or rather double stuns coming in from a single hero. That would just mean that you don't want the Cho, you just pick up an Arlott just for that pick-up potential and put the Arlott over to roam instead. But having Arlott and Cho...
Yeah, I think that's a lot. I mean, Arlott and Cho makes sense. If you're sending Arlott to the XP, Nomad as Cho, but now Silas is on the CC. I think CC is going to be a little bit awkward right here.
How does he deal with 1-1? That's my question.
Yeah,
so they have two losing lanes in the sides.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get kited. Arlott should be... No, Arlott can't deal against a Uranus,
no,
right?
He can't. It is a very committal hero. You just run straight into a Uranus, and this is exactly what Uranus wants. He wants you close so that he can Ionic this to death.
Oh, Courtesy down low just a little bit already right off the bat. Should be able to heal everything all the way up. Jay, as the Kalia is just healing it. Fake Cutie down low as well. Thorn Rails right there, but if you notice, you know, the onslaught is starting as well. Vanix already triggered the Inspire already. Nomad outputting a lot of knockouts right here, but Jay is actually knocking Nomad up sky high, limping all the way back to turret, back to safety for Absolute Zero.
The definite sustainability coming in from a Kalia, they're chained up with a lot of these combo mechanics and crowd control is definitely so much more difficult for Absolute Zero's mid laners to really deal with that. Even if it's a Farsa plus a Cho, the both of them can wipe out the waves way faster than a Lunox plus Kalia combo. So honestly, the main part of the game for AZ is to not play mid. They want to wave clear mid and try to put more offensive behaviors elsewhere. It really doesn't matter if whether it's XP or gold because both of them are actually fighters.
Hades will be able to scare Bougie right into the wings by wings. Das has level 4 to play around with that. Jay will tag onto Cho for now. But you talk about, you know, losing lane for Absolute Zero. Take a look at Benedicta's definitely losing lane, but bottom lane, Silence is actually pushing Vanix all the way back into safety.
That's actually a very interesting interaction.
But hold on a second, Jay down low already. Damage coming out from Bougie does connect onto Jay. And Vendetta using the final slash just to be able to dodge back to safety. The damage from closer is there, but the turtle will be secured by the side of Fake Cutie.
Looks like they have no issues at all taking down that turtle. They Absolute Zero totally understand that, okay, they gotta have to go
Hades
at level 4 so Hades don't get level 5 and go straight to the turtle.
Nomad on the chase, flicker small and first blood right in the face as Jay down low already and desperately trying to heal the Thorn Rose. Will be able to find the damage onto the Kalia from the side of Team Flash and Absolute Zero picking up 2 kills and the turtle. They are feeling it.
With a generally more tanky, fighter-oriented lineup from AZ, it is expected of them to be strong in the laning phase, but not exactly having that kind of lane priority for them to get out of lanes that fast. So the only way that they are able to get out of lanes fast is that they just concede one entire wave of creeps.
Oh no. Feather Airstrike coming out from Bougie right there will be able to tag onto Vanix. No way for him to run as well. He's actually desperately trying to hold a puncture. We'll be able to find him. Fake Cutie credited for 2 kills already.
Looks like CC is actually winning the lanes against that 1-1. So even when it comes down to having an extended range, or rather a range advantage from a 1-1, the CC can still threaten a lot by going right into 1-1's face with all these yo-yo tricks.
Cortese goes into the darkening, pops the brilliance as well. Bougie on the chase, try to stun him. We'll be able to find him. Nomad picking up another kill onto Cortese as well. Hades trying to spin for the win at the same time, but Fake Cutie will be able to find him. He's 2 kills, make that 3, and now the Feather Airstrike from the side of Bougie, just locking down everybody from the side of Team Flash. This is pandemonium on the ground at Team Flash's base.
We're learning something as the game progresses. One thing that we learned, of course, CC does do pretty decently in lanes, especially going up against a 1-1. 1-1 is just cowering behind the creep waves, not necessarily looking to just poke the CC at all. And even if he's poking, I think that the Festival of Blood as well as the Brave Smite is just constantly keeping the CC in check.
And the War Axe, right? Right now, whatever damage that Vanix will be able to deal against Silence is already long gone. And now Vanix has only no choice but to try to hope and hold that bottom lane. Does have help from Hades and Jay to be able to take down Celis as well. Bougie goes into Feather Airstrike. Nomad does catch onto Hades though. Jay knocking up Nomad right there, trying to peel for a little bit. Cables out there, back to safety. Does pick up a double kill as well. But Vendetta figures forward, back in all in no man's land. 3 members down, giving Flash SG a certain bit of hope for survival.
It's not too bad for Absolute Zero. In fact, they did trade Aroma and XP laner. Did they lose? Oh, they lose Salas as well. Right. So it's a 3-4-2. But to be fair, they did manage to bring Salas down as well. So it did slow down the momentum for Team Flash and unable to really just go completely ham for the Fanny until the purple buff eventually appears again.
Oh, brilliant popped as well. Nomad tried to make a play right there. We'll be able to find that. Nomad's actually outputting quite a lot of damage, but Jay right there in the middle of Bougie, Salas, and also Vendetta, nowhere for him to run. Vanix also tried to proc the crossbow attack, actually did so, unable to find any kills as well, except for Bougie going down.
This is a very micro-intensive game for AZ. They're just looking for fights all over the place due to the fact that they can mobilize their players just so much faster and so much easier based on their movement speed, as well as the fact that they are generally pretty darn tanky. They can appear in fight and put on quite some impact, be it the R-Lot or the CCs there from the side lanes. They're not item dependent though, so that's the main reason why they can win in some of these 5v5 fights, but I will still attribute to a lot of these winning cases because of Nomad.
Yeah, interested in seeing what kind of builds he's building, right? Because now you've got two side lanes that are actually considerably quite tanky. Do you go for slightly more damage because you want to be that damage troll? But hold on a second. Vendetta finding one to closer. Ionic Blades will be able to push him away.
Both teams now, they're just standing at one another, just looking for what is going to be the next best thing to do. The turtle is just going to pop the down bottom, but we will have a fight.
Tsunami Slam onto Nomad though, but Jay down low will get destroyed. Curtisi and Vanix also try to output the damage from afar, down a little bit slower, but the crossbow attack will be able to proc onto the side of Absolute Zero, but members from the side, Flash SG will be the spin for the win at the same time. Closer, leading the charge, fighting onto Vendetta, but Fake Cutie is there, lingering around, looking for some form of opportunity to assassinate.
Is this really the power spike of Flash already? But can't really see it at this point in time just yet, but perhaps that is something that Fanny can truly do at this point, as they managed to get one kill off of Vendetta. While Team Flash themselves, they actually didn't lose much in that fight.
Lots of Thorn damage coming off of the Thorn Rose already. Bougie for the airstrike, hopefully trying to catch Hades. Hades will be able to just cable all the way up, saved by the purple red tree.
Hades doesn't have a lot of HP, but he wants to prioritize getting the purple buff. The turtle is currently available for them for the picking as well. This is going to be the third turtle, mind you. So there is actually a very good chance that Team Flash is not even going to be looking at taking this turtle down, or perhaps even AZ is not looking for this turtle, just so that they can get a way earlier Lord, which should be coming up roughly about 8 minutes and 11 seconds, something like that.
Jake will be able to find onto Vendetta, Nomad, but the Freddy airstrike coming off from Bougie, just setting up so much damage in that choke point. Jay immediately gets taken down immediately right off the bat. Crossbow attack just for Vanix to get on the way. Not a lot of damage from the side of Flash as she onto Absolute Zero. Thorn Rose. You can see that Hades is struggling to pour the damage. He's absolutely taking a lot of it.
With Jay being one of the casualties for the side of Team Flash and Absolute Zero losing Vendetta. Lord currently being available. A quick roundup of the fight doesn't mean that it will go to anyone just yet. This is everyone's game. Completely equal in terms of economy. AZ does have 400 gold ahead of Flash, but it's not that big of a deal.
But Abstract, the tempo is swinging in the favor of Absolute Zero, right? Top side is already cracked open by the side of Absolute Zero's members. And now Team Flash right here, they're looking at around this Lord Pit. See, that's going to be the Tsunami Slam onto Nomad. Hades come in to deny Bougie from the Feather Airstrike, but Bannock goes into the air and we'll be able to take down Nomad. And now all of a sudden, Flash SG wrestles control of the Lord Pit back. Vendetta trying to make a play right there. Does have the weakness proc as Hades stuck onto Vendetta, pushing him away. Absolute Zero running away as Flash SG looking for the kills as Bannock picks up a mega kill for himself.
Flash managed to scare the crap out of AZ, ensuring that they would not be wandering around the Lord's Pit anymore. It's really unfortunate for AZ though, but all in all, it is a very good fight for Flash. They even managed to credit quite a bit of these kills over to Vanix, plus that T1 turret down in the bottom lane.
Vanix slowly building up a load of gold and also skills, right? Now just take a look. 416, I believe he's already secured his own Heart's Claw, so he's gonna start just shooting and outputting quite a bit of damage as well. Once he secures a Magnific Gun, he's gonna output and also out-kite everybody from side Absolute Zero. I think Bougie, I think what Hades is trying to do is basically force Bougie's Feather Airstrike away. Fake Cutie does have the damage right now. The Thorn Rose is hurt. Flash SG, but Absolute Zero needs to buckle up just a little bit more.
Unfortunately, the frontliners of AZ will not be able to hold a candle against Kurtizi anymore. With the Divine Glaive being bought up, it's fair to say that Kurtizi will be able to deal a chunk of damage to the front lines. And we're talking about quite a lot of frontliners here. With just a simple Starlight Pulse plus the Cosmic Fission, I think that is more than enough to take a massive, massive chunk away and then move on over to Darkening.
Members for the side Flash SG try to catch onto Fake Cutie. Pops the ultimate, the Brilliant's already gone already, and maybe Tsunami Slam right into the feathered airstrike from the side of Bougie, unable to turn it off, but Flash SG is just working onto Nomad, but the members from the side of Absolute Zero is just literally running against Flash SG down. 3 members, the main damage dealers for the side, Flash SG is already gone.
A very good fight that Absolute Zero managed to pick for themselves, especially since they realized that Hades is all the way down to the bottom lane trying to create some diversion and split push. AZ with the winning 5v4 fight, taking 3 members off of Team Flash, would now be able to get themselves a massive value out of taking the Lord down too.
And now Absolute Zero is literally fighting on the side of Flash SG's map. Closer immediately getting deleted. Vendetta, a monster on the R-Lot, and also Salas. Now you start to see why Absolute Zero is just investing in so much into this particular roster, right? Like now the members of side Flash SG, they're struggling to uphold the damage.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this is also the point in time where Team Flash understands where they stand. They can't take a proper fight against AZ until Vanix eventually hits his peak performance in order to, you know, really wreak havoc from a distance. Because you can let the front lines brawl for however long that you want, but as long as Vanix stays alive and being able to crossbow or tank his way, I think that it's going to be a fight for them.
Tsunami Slam once again onto Vendetta. A lot of damage being poured into that, and Hades try to spin towards Bougie. Bougie wins by wings, will be able to reposition himself, but Absolute Zero is actually wrecking havoc down bot, sending Fake Cutie right there. They sacrifice Vendetta. The Lord will be slowly dealt with by the side of Flash SG for now.
Good amount of kills, good amount of turret kills so far for AZ. They've managed to wipe out almost every single one of these outer turrets except for the one at the bottom lane. Flash does want to look for an angle though.
Hades will be able to shut down Fake Cutie right there. A 1v1 versus a jungler, and Vendetta still down right here. Flash SG is going to take this advantage. They will actually handshake the fight, and now Absolute Zero will find themselves in a bit of a deficit in terms of manpower.
The Consecration being popped more closer. Just gonna buy a little bit more time plus zone plus the Radiant stacks.
Loads of standing gold there, Abstract.
A lot. And so 16 is to 16, completely neck and neck in terms of kills. Let's take a look at itemizations to really understand how the state of the game is at this point in time with the 1-1.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow. That's literally artillery strike. Even force a brilliance out of Kurtizi. He knows he actually cannot deal with the damage coming out from Bougie. And that's a power of Bougie in the pockets of Absolute Zero, right? He's able to just find all these angles and just slap them with tons of damage. Flash SG cannot hold.
4 items for the 1-1. Malefic Gun, Corrosion Scythe, the Windtalker, as well as the Harsh Claws. Well, in the meantime, if you look at Absolute Zero, every single one of the players is actually not building damage except for Bougie. Even for Fate Cutie, he does have the Endless Battle, but he decided to build that Brute Force Breastplate.
Vanix has to hop out of there, but members from the side Absolute Zero hold on to him like it is nothing as Fake Cutie picks up that kill, and now Flash SG, they're starting to lose ground. The AoE coming up from Fake Cutie. Tremendous damage against Flash SG as Hades has no choice but to sneak a turret down bot.
This is an interesting road that Fake Cutie has went for himself. That is a Bruiser Lancelot that we are looking out for from the side of AZ, which would explain why it's actually kind of difficult to bring Fate Cutie down at this point as we speak. For all the crowd control that is going to be applied to him, it will be reduced because of the Brute Force Breastplate. As he continues to move on forward, he can actually pick up quite a bit of kills like that.
Hades coming in. Okay, Fake Cutie still secures the Lord for themselves though. Bougie does land down the feather airstrike, picks up Hades as a kill. Jay has to try to run away right now. The concealed play coming off from Salas. The broken walls almost be able to help Jay to be able, almost help Absolute Zero to pick up Jay right there. But Absolute Zero secures the Lord for themselves as Flash SG now to go for the defense.
300 gold in favor for AZ, with the Lord marching down in the middle lane. The amount of economy for both of these teams is massive, so it's definitely going to be bringing some of these main damage dealers already at top form. Vanix already picked up that Wind of Nature. That should be more than enough to deter a lot of these attacks.
A bit of a damage coming in, but once again, it's another choke point that Absolute Zero forced Flash SG into a fight. Hades missing that spin right here. Finally picks up Bougie though, and that's A-okay. And now the rest of the members from the side of Flash SG will be able to deal with the Lord and then subsequently deal with the members of Absolute Zero. And now with the crossbow tank does have it, he will be able to jump into the air, finds onto Satus, and there will be another member down for the side Absolute Zero. It is a bloodbath in the Land of Dawn right here between these two teams.
Great defense from Team Flash. They also managed to find the very big ticket kill down over to Bougie. Bougie does have got the Queen's wings, so blood wings. So even with the blood wings, he still wasn't able to really stop the onslaught from Fanny. Understandably, it is a Fanny after all. Fanny has picked up quite a bit of items with that
Full damage.
Oh yeah, full items ready. So we've got Sea Halberd, we've got Blade of Despair, Hunter Strike, Malefic Gun, as well as the Blade of the Heptases.
Look, if Fake Cutie is able to output so much damage based on his skills, just with like even a brute force breastplate, and now just completed a Malefic Gun, I actually fear for Flash SG. Flash SG cannot afford to basically stack like that because Bougie could just easily do this, and Vanix needs to hop away.
Shouldn't be too big of a problem still. Flash SG still have got one main win con, and that is just to take down Bougie. That's the main burst damage from AZ, which makes things so much more difficult for Closer to sustain in this entire team fight. Salas, yes, is going to be able to bruise Closer a lot because of the fact that he can reap through those shields and reap through all those HP bars. But the number one threat undoubtedly is still going to be Bougie.
Right now, I think Flash SG, like what we've been pointing out for some other teams, right? The way they've been engaging is just a very single dimensional, right? Jay, jump in, flicker, maybe, then Tsunami Slam somebody. But if you notice how Absolute Zero plays this, whenever Jay Tsunami Slam somebody, Bougie is there, opening up the feathered airstrike and then start blasting wherever Jay lands. Jay has died 7 times, and he should be none the wiser regarding picking these people up.
Perhaps not a full bruiser build for Fate Cutie. His HP bar doesn't seem thick enough for him to actually be going bruiser build, so it's more of like a hybrid kind of thing. A little bit more sustainability and defenses in the early stages, but now he should have the damage items that he needs in order to really snipe down the backlines.
You should have full build right now. In fact, the only defensive item, will you consider Brute Force Breastplate defensive? Because sometimes it's actually quite an offensive defensive item.
To be fair, yeah, you're right, true. It does have the new, it's not really new, but it does have the stack mechanic
that's
now.
a massive pickup from the side of Flash SG. Hades picking up that kill right there onto Bougie. They've got around 30 seconds before they could do anything, and now if you notice, this is a time where Flash SG will strike, conceal play, catching on the Salas. Salas hops into Vengeance, immediately get destroyed by the side of Curtisi, and now 2 members down. Flash SG is looking to cycle. They could either convert this into more turret takedowns, or at the same time work on the Evolved Lord.
This is the big break that Team Flash is looking for. Being able to put 40 seconds on the Salas and subsequently like 30 seconds on the Bougie because of an early death. It's gonna net them this Lord take, which will be coming out in plus minus 5 seconds coming in. So, all of these waves coming out, that's gonna give Team Flash a mega creep in the middle and the bottom.
Yeah, Jay's ultimate's already up. Doesn't have the flicker to work with that one, but this is, like what he mentioned, a big break. I want to see how Flash SG utilize that one, but unfortunately the timing's not on Flash SG sides. Absolute Zero, by the time the Lord actually marches all the way down bot, Absolute Zero has full members online, and Bougie, especially Bougie, is online.
But to be fair, this is still an evolved Lord. And they don't have a marksman over to the side of AZ.
True.
So this is still going to be a very difficult Lord for them to handle.
A very early feather airstrike will be started out by the side of Bougie as well. The Lord's actually working on the core. A little bit distracted right here. Nomad goes in for the kick. Hades will be able to deal with that one with a cutthroat. Curtisi in the middle right here. Goes into the brilliance as well as the Lord pummels onto the core of Absolute Zero. As Flash SG shows who is boss. They take down Absolute Zero in game number 1.
A very unfortunate and segmented fight for the last one. Joe, Nomad managed to land a very good way to dragon over to Hades, but unfortunately no follow-ups because the rest of the team were a little bit too preoccupied in the front lines and the Lord. So it's not about a chase to kill people, but it's really just a chase to close the game. But regardless, speaking about closing the game, it is Team Flash that closed the game and managed to give Vanix that MVP role with a total of 5:3:13, completely and fully slaughtered.
Yeah, and the benefit about 1-1 in this, well, basically because of her kit, right? You can easily skip the boots, which means that you get one additional item in. That one additional item in just really grants the 1-1 so much power, and the fact once you get a Malefic Gun, you could just like step forward even further, you could just kite, and I think once the Malefic Gun is secured by the side of Vanix, well, Lord Vanix himself, nothing from the side of Absolute Zero that can do to basically stop them, unless the Farsa just slaps him with tons of damage and the 1-1 is forced to run away.
And here we go. Throughout the entire game, it does seem as though Absolute Zero, with 2 Turtle and 2 Lord, there is definitely some form of dominance, and we can see just how difficult is it to deal with when Bougie just goes completely online. The burst potential is crazy, paired together with Nomad's very aggressive play. And right off the bat, Nomad even managed to get, you know, quite a bit of kills. However, those kills, unfortunately, kind of misplaced because it's onto Nomad, not onto anyone else. It could have been so much better, but sometimes, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, but Absolute Zero is like, everybody is like mostly fighters, right? You put in kills all the way to the side of Bougie, okay, not too bad, not too shabby either, but well, Bougie really output a lot of damage near the later parts. Again, the Winter Trunkin definitely helps. It is also a massive counter for the 1-1 as well. And yeah, I think I really see, you know, Absolute Zero putting a very hard game over the side of Flash SG, because I have to agree, Flash SG this game doesn't look easy for them.
In the early phases, they don't have anything that can realistically help them all too much. One thing that can help them is the fact that they have some winning lanes, such as having a Uranus going up against an Arlet as compared to a Uranus against a CC, right? In the meantime, we thought that Vanix would be able to do a good job or better job against the CC, but somehow seems like CC is pretty darn annoying in lane as compared to the 1-1. And of course, I absolutely trust Vanix. If Vanix thinks that it's better to play safe against a CC, then that is probably right.
Just look at the amount of damage dealt by Salas, right? It's just 118k damage.
That's a
on the
lot
CC.
more than I expected.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that one, right? Like, it just shreds. Maybe it's also shredding through, you know, what Closer is trying to do. Also shreds through what J is, because these are your 2 tanks from the side of Team Flash. But there's also another point to take note is Bougie just outputting that AoE damage, right? 101k damage in total.
101, okay. It's pretty fair with the artillery strikes here and there. Fate QD though, 63,000 damage dealt, but it's a pretty respectable amount of damage taken. So yeah, it's not bruiser at all. Probably would have been a bruiser. It would definitely be more of a bruiser style if it's a Thunderbelt, right? So moving on to the direction, it would be nice to see, but they need some burst potential other than Bougie. So having 2 win conditions in the team is understandably going to be the better way to go, but without the late game insurance of the marksman.